What's up guys, it's Tom from Start Racing, and today we're taking a look at the pros and cons of competing in a spec Miata series. So the Mazda MX-5 is a lightweight two-seater car, and it's been dominating the sports car industry ever since its introduction back in 1989. It is now the most raced car in the world, proving once again that Miata is always the answer. For a spec Miata, the lightest that it can be is 2,275 pounds, and the competition horsepower usually floats around 120 horses. Now that we know a little bit about the Miata, let's talk about some of the reasons that you may want to buy and build one of these. So these Miatas, they are extremely lightweight and nimble around the corners. From my own experience on the track, there was an S-turn area at Sonoma where a Miata was in front of me for a little bit, and then after we went through the turns, he was gone. There's also a big community with a bunch of knowledge, which is very useful and helpful when building one of these, so that there's people you can turn to that may know a little bit more or have answers to a question or a problem that you run into. There's also tons of competition in the spec Miata series, ripping around the track with tons of action and back and forth battles. Because the competition is so fierce, it is a well-respected spec racing series and is often a ladder to move from amateur to pro racing. So not only is the entry point into one of these cars affordable, also the consumables are very reasonable, the parts are cheap, the work is cheap. Now, some may argue that having very little horsepower in these cars is a disadvantage. However, because there is such little horsepower, if you lose momentum or you mess up a turn, you don't have the horsepower there to correct it like you might in my Shelby. It forces you to really be precise, carry a lot of momentum, while also using just enough brakes. In order to be a quick driver in one of these, it forces you to level up your driver mod. We've heard about some of the pros, but now let's dig into some of the reasons that you may want to stay away from the spec Miata series. The first thing that comes to mind is the sound. I don't know about you, but I don't really care for the sound of lawnmowers. So that may be one of the reasons that you choose not to get into one of these cars. Second, as mentioned previously, there is next to no horsepower in these cars. Now, horsepower isn't everything on the track. However, there are other spec options with a little bit more oomph for those that want it. Third reason you may want to steer away from these spec Miatas, I mean, look at it. Reminds me of a Tic Tac. I can't say it. It looks like something that the looks don't inspire you. They don't. So I don't know about you, but it's not the most aesthetically pleasing. And lastly, they're incredibly common. As we said before, they're one of the most sold sports cars in the world, so it's not going to be something that is new. What do you think? Is Miata always the answer? Or would you like to see something else come to the page? As always, let us know in the comments below. And just in case you're new here, since there's a lot of new faces, for every follower in the month of March across all of our socials, we're adding $1 of our dollars to a track build that we will be showcasing for you guys. As of day 19, we're up to $3,200 towards our budget track build. And this spec Miata is one of the 4 cars that we're considering. If you don't already, drop a follow, like, subscribe, send, share, all that stuff. And stay tuned for the next video in the series, and we'll catch you guys next time.